I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, July the 28th, my middle daughter Aspen's 18th birthday, headed off to Texas Tech here in a couple of weeks, so we're going to be bleeding black and red around here. Brought to you in part by Sweet Pro. Sweet Pro blocks boost fertility, improve herd health, and allow calves to gain more pounds on pasture. For more information, go to sweetpro.com. Monday giveth and Tuesday taketh away. The board was up big to start the week on Monday. Took a lot of it back on Tuesday, but not all of it. So we're still on the upside for the week so far. But and your cash feeder cattle auctions were not quite as crazy as what we talked about to start the week on Monday. They were still good and they were still higher compared to a week ago, but not quite as crazy as what we saw on Monday. And things just kind of settled down a little bit. But your fat cattle trade is starting to trickle just a little bit. It's going to be a tick higher, but the packers aren't going to give up much ground there. So we can't get too excited about gaining a whole lot of ground like we kind of were thinking maybe Monday after all that big bullish fundamental news that we had late last week. But here on Wednesday in the morning at 10 o'clock Eastern, we're going to have a House Ag Committee hearing. It's entitled The State of the Beef Supply Chain, Shocks, Recovery, and Rebuilding. We're not expecting the fireworks that we saw in the Senate Ag Committee hearing several weeks ago, but it'll be interesting to watch, and you can view it on YouTube is what they've said. So if I get any more information on that, I'll try to share it on social media. But it'll still be interesting to see. It'll be a lot of different players. We're not going to have Justin Tupper there being the hero, and we're not exactly sure who all's going to be involved, but there certainly will be some news come out of it. Biggest news that come out on Tuesday was that last week's volume of box beef movement was over 8,000 loads, the second highest of the year. I assume a lot of your buyers were getting prepared for Labor Day. It's looking like Labor Day might be our last hurrah. They're going to have us wrapping our heads up again here in fear of this pandemic of a third, fourth, or 12th wave or whatever it is. And so they're expecting a big blowout for that. Also, we saw middle of last week, we saw your box beef cutout values kind of bottom out there, and that was pretty much guessed that it was going to happen like that. So a lot of your buyers decided maybe that was the best time to get in and make a lot of purchases. But a big movement of beef products, and should keep these packers hungry here to finish out the summer. Let's talk about the board on Tuesday. August live cattle futures down 52 cents at 122.92. Still trading at a premium to likely what we're going to weighted average, but they are selling a few of them higher here to start the week. October was down 77 at 128.42. Going your back months, your live cattle down 50 cents to up 20, so not a lot of action on the backside. August feeder cattle down $1.50. Remember when that was the limit for a daily move? 160.70. September was down 82 at 164 even. On your back months there, settled down quite a bit too, from steady to 50 cents lower. Fat cattle trade, like I said, it just started to dribble in a little bit on Tuesday, and we can't get too awful excited about it, but it is showing it might be a tick stronger this week depending on how the board reacts as we go forward. But Iowa had 1,900 confirmed sales from 121 to 125. We saw that price range last week, but actually it's a little bit higher there within that range. Dress sales look like they could be higher. The reported sales confirmed from $1.95 to $2, but I don't know about the rest of you, but I heard rumors of $2.02 by some regionals there in the Midwest, in Iowa and in Minnesota, $2.02, and did see some $2.02 reported on the confirmed sales, but it was in the mixed bag steers and heifers. But I'd say the $2.02's out there, guys, if that's where you want to trade. Nebraska, just a few loads there at 121. Kansas, Texas didn't have any reported trade for Tuesday. Colorado's was all confidential. Only thing we've seen in the Southern Plains was just one deal there on Monday. Must have been early. Somebody that sure needed to move some cattle traded a few at 119. Consolidated Beef Producers cash pool that they tried to put together on Tuesday was not accepted again. And you can't blame them for not accepting it. They did get 4 bids, which is more than usual. One really generous packer offered $117.40. Then that was not taken. The other 3 was right around in there from $119, $119.05, $119.13. So that's better than the worst price we saw last week, but surely they can get back up to $120 or $121 this week. Box beef cutout values, and I mentioned how much moved last week, but higher again to start the week. They were higher on Monday, higher again on Tuesday. Choice cuts on Tuesday afternoon, $269.73. Remember when fat cattle were at their all-time highest way back in 2014 at 172, your fats brought. Your choice cuts were at 256. Well, we're trading at 269.73. That was $1.80 higher. Select was 302 higher at 253.94 on Tuesday afternoon. Slaughter running at a pretty decent clip, 238,000 just through the first 2 days of the week. That's 6,000 more than last week, 2,000 more than the same week a year ago. Look at what else is going on. You guys know here on the Feeder Flash, we promote auction markets, specifically brick and mortar auction markets. That's what I love to give the big prices on. I'm going to be here and I'm going to preach about them and brag on them and promote them as long as they're still around. I hope that we can still have sale barns 100 years from now. I remember 30 years ago when I was finishing up college, I did a paper on whether auction markets were going to survive. I'm actually kind of surprised looking back that they're as active as they are now, but you and I both know when you run cattle between an auctioneer and a crowd that wants them, that's the best place to sell your cattle. But we always give a monthly Zactran Market of the Month here on the Feeder Flash, and this month the Zactran Market of the Month is OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma. I tell you what, all summer long they've been having the best sales, selling those cattle in there at top prices. They've been kind of lucking out having their big yearlings on a Wednesday because that's just been kind of working into their hands for the last couple of months here. But man, can they sell them. And I give them so much credit by the way that they manage that facility. It seems like, here a couple years ago when they decided to sell all the calves on Tuesday and all the yearlings on Wednesday, it's really helped their market. And not only do they separate the calves and the yearlings, they separate the steers and the heifers. And, most sale barns sell all of one man's cattle, and that's a good idea, especially when you're selling calves all at once. But, when you got those high volume buyers in there like they have at El Reno, they want to get up to the edge of their seat whenever they're selling exactly what they want, and they'll sell all those heifers, establish a market on them and get all of them sold right there in a narrow range and then get on to the steers. But that's amazing that they can do that whenever you're selling, in the neighborhood of 400,000 cattle a year through that ring there. But got to give Bill Barnhart, the general manager, their credit. He does a great job, and the whole gang there. I know some of them, I don't know all of them. Gary Reed, friend of mine, he does a good job there. He's been with that market for a long time. And then all the Coopers, of course, Dale Cooper, auctioneer, and John Cooper, his son, auctioneers, and George out there sorting and helping too. And they do a really great job. So your Zactran Market of the Month, OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. On Tuesday, your real-time index on DV auction late in the day on Tuesday at 150.250, actually off just 3 cents. And like I said, just wasn't quite as wild on your sales on Tuesday as it was on Monday, but still selling awfully good. Look at some of your big sales. Ozarks Regional Stockyard, West Plains, Missouri. Randy Hoover there and the whole gang. 2,000 head plus there, a pretty good sale. My buddy Dan Hill did make note in there how hot and sultry it's been. And man, you talk about hot and sticky this time of year, West Plains, Missouri, I tell you what, that could be the epicenter of it. But market was still steady to $5 higher. They had another 1,100 head on their in-house video with DV Auction, and I tell you what, they've been doing a great job of that. And they have video lots in there almost every week, and sometimes have a big slug of them. Had several of them on Tuesday, and within that 1,100 head, One lot that I saw that sold really well was Dr. Ryan Grant's steers there. They were home-raised steers grazing at Grove, Oklahoma for early August delivery. Nice load of them, 68 head, weigh 8 1/4 at delivery at $154 1/4. That's a good price. How about Philip the Giant? They had their big anniversary barbecue special on Tuesday and pulled the automated market report. Looked really, really good. I'll give you a rundown of some of the best tested weights. How about 591 head of the 8-weight steers averaged 851 at 155.31 on all those 8-weight steers. Almost 600 head of 9-weight steers in Philip, South Dakota averaged 940 pounds with a weighted average price of $149.99, scaring the hell out of $150, weighing well into the nines. I had a good run of heifers too. 393 head of the 7-weight heifers averaged 751 at 145.39 on the average, and 673 head of 8-weight heifers averaged 862 at 144.46. Give you some other big quotes from all around the circuit. Interstate Regional Stockyards in Cuba, Missouri, they're doing a good job there broadcasting with DV Auction. 63 head, 730 pound steers bring 160 in Cuba, Missouri. How about No Man's Land, Oklahoma? Beaver County Stockyards, Beaver, Oklahoma, had a big sale on Tuesday. Look at all these load lots that they had in Beaver, Oklahoma there. Included in there are 7 loads of 8-weight steers, selling from 154 to 156. Very impressive. How about Denny Rezac Livestock Commission, St. Mary's, Kansas? 128 head of 783 pound steers bring 159.10 on Tuesday in St. Mary's, Kansas. How about a lighter calf quote? Welch Stockyards, Welch, Oklahoma. Man, they've been selling the calves really well here of late in Welch, Oklahoma. 56 head, 578 pound steers bring 184.75. But the best quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday in your Zach Tran top quote for the day come out of Huron Continental Marketing, Huron, South Dakota. 54 head, 834 pound steers bring $160 smooth. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.